Hi, boys and girls. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to read a book. It's called Caps for Sale. And a cap is something that you put on your head. It's another word for a hat. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler. Carrying his wares on his back, he carried them on top of his head. Wow, look at all the caps he has on top of his head. First, he had his own cap, a checkered cap. Then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight as to not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he said, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. He was trying to sell his caps. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street, he walked down the street, calling again, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry on his tummy, but he had no money for lunch. I think I'll go for a walk in the country, he said, and he walked out of town slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. This is a nice place for a rest, he thought, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as to not disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were straight. First he checked his checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep for a very long time. He fell asleep by the tree. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. That was a good nap, he probably said to himself. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. What happened to all his caps? He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back at him, no cap. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or red cap. The monkeys, they took his caps. The sneaky little monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you! Shaking his finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and they said, "Sss, sss, sss." They're not nice. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and said, you monkeys, you! Give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Sss, sss, sss." Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him. So they stamped their feet and they said, "Sss, sss, sss." Look at those monkeys. They're not being nice. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet and shouted, you monkeys, you must give me my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him. And what do you think they said? Tss, tss, tss. Those monkeys. At last, he became so angry that he pulled his own cap off his head and he threw it to the ground. And he began to get mad. So he threw his cap to the ground. But then each monkey pulled off their cap and threw it to the ground. So they're copying him. They're following what he's doing. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down. out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps, put them back on his head. First his own checkered caps, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. So he got his caps back. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps for sale, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And that's the story of the peddler and his caps. And that's the end. So I hope you like the story, boys and girls, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.